Hey all, welcome back. So yesterday on Feb 8th, 2024, after almost 6 months of my application, I finally received my COPR. I'd been checking the application tracker almost every day, and today finally there was an update and my day started with good news, so I do feel happy. Anyway, let's dive right in and look at how to fill IMM 5669. So what is this form for? So it says we need information about your personal background and history, and includes details like your education, membership and associations, criminal history, addresses and so forth. And before you get started, you must fill out this form for yourself and behalf of any family members 18 years of age and older who are not already citizens or permanent residents. So now if you have dependents, this comes into play. If not, then only fill it for the principal applicant. And that's the one who's applying to become a PR. So it also says enter all names in English in your native language. Again, you can just use Google Translate for that. So let's get started. So for your personal details, your name is automatically being pulled from the profile page that you initially set up. Your full name in native language, just use Google Translate and copy and paste that here. Date of birth, again from your profile page. Personal details of your father, family name, that'll be last name, given name, first and middle name, if applicable, exactly as per passport. So my father did not have a middle name in his passport, so I just put his first name here. Date of birth, date of death, if applicable, town, city of birth, country of birth. Straightforward. So for personal details of your mother, it asks for family name at birth. So what this means is your mother's last name at birth. So in India, women usually adopt their husband's surname after marriage, but this field requires your mother's last name at birth. So the name before it was changed, of course, if it was changed. And then again, given name as per the passport, and then same information as we saw above for father. Just save and continue. For section B, which is the questionnaire, it says have you or any of your family members listed in this application. So this can be confusing, but since this version of the form is only being filled out by the principal applicant, strictly answer only as per the applicant's information. Don't answer for any spouse or family member. Their background does not matter. So the questions go like, have you ever been convicted of a crime or offense in Canada? So for most of us, it should be no. So you should declare everything truthfully here. Do not lie. IRCC does background checks, and that part of the application, at least for me, took the longest time. So if they discover that you lied here, that can lead to refusal and also have negative consequences in any future applications. So just be truthful. So again, most of the questions should be no here, and if it is yes for anything, there's a box at the end where you can provide an explanation. As long as it's a reasonable explanation, it should not impact your application. Looking at questions, some of the questions that can be confusing. So question 4 asks, have you ever been refused refugee status, immigrant or permanent resident visa application to PNP, or visitor or temporary resident visa for Canada or any other country? So this is if you have been denied when you applied for a visa. It does not negatively impact your application as long as there's a reasonable explanation. And question 5 is, have you been refused admission to or ordered to leave Canada or any other country? So this means it's when you land in that country and you were denied admission, or you were ordered to leave once you were already there. And then questions 6 through 10 should again be no for most of us. And then question 11 asks, have you had any serious disease or physical or mental disorder? Now, a serious condition should not really impact your application unless your illness is contagious. So that means if it can spread. So something maybe like tuberculosis. And then once you're done with this section, just save and continue. So for your education, it says give the number of years of school you successfully completed for each of the following levels of education. So elementary, secondary, and university. So you don't have to stick to a standard format. Enter whatever is applicable to your country, the standard for elementary, secondary, and so forth. So since I'm from Mumbai, I found this a little tricky because our system usually goes like school from 1st to 10th grade, then 11th and 12th is known as junior college, and then after that is usually a bachelor's or diploma. But what I did was I entered the number of years as per the standard format, which is 8 years of elementary, so from 1st to 8th grade, then 4 years of secondary, no, that's from 9th to 12th grade, and then 5 years of university. So for me it was 3 years of my degree in India and 2 years for the program that I did here. And then when you get full details of your education history, go back from your most recent education to oldest. I went back till my 10th grade. A thing to note here is that the fields have character limits. So in case you face that problem, just remove the spaces, use short forms, acronyms, put city or locality for identification, and you should be good. And once you're done, just save and continue. So for your personal history, it says provide the details of your personal history for the past 10 years or since your 18th birthday if it was less than 10 years ago. So what that means is I was 24 years old at the time of applying. So I did not go back 10 years till I was 14, only till when I was 18. Another important thing to note here is do not leave any gaps in time when you're filling your personal history, and just include whatever your status was, if you're employed, self-employed, unemployed, studying, whatever it was. And again, most recent to oldest when it comes to your personal history. So what leaving no gaps in time really means is your from date in your new status must begin immediately after or on the same month as your to date on the preceding status. So if we look at the to date year, it's April 2023, and the from date is May 2023. So it begins immediately after the previous history, preceding history ended. So if we look at it from the oldest history, then from 2016 July to 2019 April, I was doing my bachelor's, and then when my bachelor's was over, the to date is 04/2019, and then for the new history, the from date starts from 05/2019. So it begins immediately after the to date ends here. So yes, don't leave any gaps in time when you're filling your personal history. Just save and continue. So sections 5 to 7 should be none for most of us, and if it's none, just enter none in the first text field. Of course, if this section applies to you, then just answer truthfully and save and continue. Now for your address history, it will follow the similar logic to your personal history. Go from your most recent addresses to your oldest residential addresses. Now in your current address, it will pre-populate from what you have filled in the profile page, and you just have to fill the from date year, so whenever you started living in your current address. Now the to date year says Jan 2024. When I'm recording this, it's already Feb 9th. So if it's a technical glitch, then don't worry about it. It's not in your hands. And then just add your previous addresses again, where you have lived in the past 10 years or since your 18th birthday. And then just save and continue. And that's about it for this form. Then just click complete and return to application, and you're done. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did find value in this video, be sure to drop a like and a comment. I'll create a video for my application history, so you have a better idea of how long things take. For me, it was 6 months from the time I submitted the application. All right, thank you so much. Cheers.